What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the 90s inspired upcoming Adidas Prophere. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. Make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at @RealSethFowler if you haven't yet, but with all that being said, let's get into it. First off, I want to give a huge thank you to Adidas NYC for sending this pair out. And also the craziest thing was that they didn't actually ship this to me. They sent it with a courier, so it came the same day that they told me it was even coming. But along with the shoes, they also sent this note and it says, "Seth, introducing our most aggressive silhouette yet, Prophere." From @Adidas NYC, #gifted by Adidas. Thank you so much, Adidas NYC. This is really cool to actually be getting a pair from you guys. I really appreciate it. So without further ado, here it is, the upcoming Adidas Prophere. First off, I was born in '92, which kind of makes me a 90s kid. I was definitely younger in the 90s, but I still remember a lot of the fashion. So these bulky big midsole sneakers are something that I definitely remember. And honestly, it's got me a little nostalgic. As I'm sure you've noticed, the fashion trend has been leaning back towards the 90s, which I think is pretty cool. Take for example, the recent bulky sneaker releases like the Balenciagas and the Yeezy 700s. That whole bulky, oversized, crazy colored trend is definitely coming back. And the best part about 90s trends coming back besides the nostalgia is that brands are able to execute the same designs with newer materials, therefore making them more comfortable and more interesting. The Adidas Prophere drops in the US on December 15th for $120 and is unapologetically 90s. And that's exactly what Adidas was going for. Almost the entire upper of the shoe is made up of this one-piece knit construction. While the upper itself isn't prime knit, it's still a knit material composed of 3 different colors, black, gray, and orange. I mean, to be honest with you guys, it's got a very prime knit look, however, it's not as stretchy and it's not as breathable. Underneath the knit, there's a lining that separates your foot from the knit itself. It moves with the knit very well, so you still get a very nice, comfortable, adaptive fit. Around the medial side of the toe box, you've got these black embroidered lines for added durability. They also give the knit material a little bit more structure around your big toe, which is kind of nice because that's one of the least durable areas on most knit shoes. Sometimes people's big toes kind of pop through the knit material once it's sort of worn down, so that's a really nice touch and should help the shoe last a long time. Continuing back on the shoe, you get to one of my favorite elements on the sneaker, these raw leather 3 stripes. What I really love about this design detail is that it doesn't look like it's there just to be a branding moment for Adidas. It actually looks like it's a functional and really nice looking portion of the shoe. Each one of these panels is covered in this black nubuck or short suede material. On the medial side of the shoe, you have the same black stripes, except this time they're perforated. And of course, running through the eyelets on each one of these panels are the black rope laces. Moving up the shoe, you've got this thick black elastic strap that acts as the pull tab. Printed on the top of it in gloss black is Adidas' logo. Inside the shoe, you've got this really nice soft black sock liner. The sock liner is pretty similar to what you'd find on an EQT or an Ultra Boost. It's pretty well padded and it's comfortable. There's also a black insole that's actually removable with Adidas' logo printed in orange. As for sizing, the fit is definitely interesting. Adidas sent me a size 9, which is true to size for me, and honestly it doesn't feel too bad. One thing I will say though is that around the toe area it did feel like it was a little loose or I had a little bit more room than I really needed. However, the ankle and the midfoot of the shoe fit me perfectly. It's possible that the reason I was getting the space around the toe is because I have more narrow feet, so what I would suggest is if you have the option to try these on first before you buy them, make sure to do that to make sure the fit is right for you. Otherwise, I think you should be fine going true to size. Moving back on the shoe, you've got this premium hit with a black leather heel counter. Adidas used one piece of leather to create the heel counter, but split it in the middle and then sewed it together to create this sort of leather tab. I'm not totally sure why they did it. It gives the shoe sort of an unfinished look, but hey, I don't mind it. Continuing around to the back of the shoe, you have more embroidered lines, this time in bright orange. Moving down the shoe, you get to the most eye-catching feature of the Prophere, the crazy spiked midsole. If you couldn't already tell, the bulkiness and size of the midsole is inspired by the 90s, and I really like the way this looks. I love the clean lines that the top of the midsole creates, and I kind of dig this extrusion on the back of the shoe. I think that's kind of different and interesting. Adidas covered the whole midsole in these small spikes. One thing I will say though is that I really like the way the shadows play off this texture and give the shoe a very unique look. And I guess the more I think about it, the reason I'm drawn to the shoe is because it is so unique. So if it wasn't for these spikes, I don't know if I'd be as interested in the shoe as I am. As I mentioned before, because this is a more budget model sneaker, it doesn't utilize Boost technology, which is kind of a bummer, but really not too bad. Instead, Adidas opted for a polyurethane insole, which kind of just feels normal. Finally, moving to the bottom of the shoe, you have your orange and white rubber outsole. The white portion of the outsole continues the spiky trend by wrapping some of the texture over onto the bottom of the shoe. The heel and the toe of the shoe have these orange panels that are covered in this sort of basketball bump texture, if you know what I'm talking about. Overall, the Adidas Prophere is definitely a nostalgia trip back to the 90s, and I love that about it. And that Adidas utilized new technologies and materials to take something that was inspired by a great decade and turn it into something special. If you're trying to grab a pair of Adidas Propheres for yourself, they drop December 15th in the United States for $120. Now that we've got the review out of the way, let's put these guys on feet and see how they look. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of the upcoming Adidas Prophere and whether you're planning to grab a pair for yourself. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to me, Seth Fowler, if you want to see more content just like this, and follow me on all other forms of social media. The links will be in the description below.